will be. We know what's happening in the short term, but as Bob touched on and as we've been talking about, the long-term impacts on the economy, definitely something that we do not know the answers to quite yet.
Without question. I mean, if people don't know, the Port of Baltimore is the port with the largest volume of car shipments into the United States. So all the cars that are from somewhere else coming into this country are likely coming in through the Port of Baltimore. When you talk about agriculture and volume, they deal likely on the eastern seaboard with the most volume. So, David, the context here, as you say, is massive. And let's not forget, it is also a cruise port. So for now, we know that entire channel there of the Patapsco has been shut down. We'll get back to you and get more information as you get that, David. Thank you. And another major consideration, as you heard David touch upon, is the traffic. As we know, this makes part of the Baltimore Beltway, especially in the southeastern part there from Glen Burnie over the river into Dundalk. And this will have major traffic impacts beyond, especially as this afternoon commute is about to get underway. So let's get to our Aaron Como here, who's got a live look on the traffic, on conditions, and how people can get around tonight. Hi, Aaron.
That's right, Marina. A lot of local drivers between D.C. and Baltimore, if you're traveling in the area, looking to get around this bridge shutdown. 695, the inner and outer loop. You obviously cannot cross the Baltimore Key Bridge. Outer loop traffic divert.
Shalom, brothers. First off, I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai Bashem Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders and teachers at Great Millstone who rule well and teach well. It's Brother Yahushai Zion, just coming through with this real quick message through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Now, you see this Baltimore Key Bridge. Now, everything is spiritual, but you know that key, that word key, you know, I believe that this is a setup. It's just too big of an error and too big of a mistake to make for anybody. Imagine the lawsuit on a bridge that probably costs about, you know, $10 billion or something like that to make that bridge. And not only that, but the hours that's included in it. Then you got this down here as a little, you know, distraction. Puff Daddy, you know, basically getting his home raided or whatever. Just yesterday is no surprise that while everybody's looking at that, boom, the bridge goes down. You know what I'm saying? It just makes sense. This is how they do. You know, they create diversions and distractions, man. Remember, the greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist. That's what they say. You know, it's like a little expression or whatever. But this is what's going on, you see? So, yeah, man, through the spirit, you know, this is wild. So this thing here, Dali, it says ship lost power before hitting Key Bridge in Baltimore. Now, what could have happened is an EMP attack. It could have been like an EMP strike that hit that bridge, or Salaki that hit that particular ship liner, you know, and caused it to lose power just before it came and crossed with that bridge, you know, because obviously they could have took like a left or right hand turn or whatever, or just navigated underneath the bridge and not hit that little structure. But yeah, man, it's bugged out. So let's see what's going on here.
Hey, what's going on with shipping? Sal Mercaglano here this morning. So we've had an incident in the Port of Baltimore involving the motor vessel Dolly outbound from Baltimore. I am just beginning to process the information and take a look at it, but I want to clarify something that I've been seeing that needs to be done. This is the video coming from the Port of Baltimore. I'm going to go ahead and live stream it or replay it. This is Dolly coming out. Notice the ship just went dark. I'm going to come back here for a second. Go back here a second. Take you back about 10 seconds here. So she would have came off the berth at Dundalk here, and if you play back this video, you'll see that the ship is outbound, turning around the channel, comes off of Dundalk right here, goes out the channel, spins around, and is coming out. Now let's be clear, this is obviously the exit out. This is where she wants to come out. Go ahead and play it again. Here she is coming out. You'll see lights along her side. You'll see lights right here. That red light in the back is not her, but she goes dark all of a sudden. So now the ship is dark. You are not having any power on this vessel. The ship has basically dropped the plant. So when I initially heard about this happening, there was a lot of questions about, was this mechanical or was this human? This is obviously a mechanical issue in that they lost power. We're not sure why she lost power. So here she is. She is basically coasting at this point without any control. Now, if she had lost power, does that mean she lost her rudder? Did she lose propulsion? And the vessel was in the channel on the outbound leg. She was coming out, and you see her still kind of moving here very slowly down on the channel. Traffic up on the bridge is moving along, and the ship is just progressing slowly down the channel. So ship's still moving at this time, and then we see the power come back on. So you see the lights come back on. So she is able to get power back on at this moment. Oops, sorry, it's buffering here. So you got power now coming back on. She, once again, should have propulsion. She should be making way. Now, when you lose power on a ship, it is the worst feeling in the world. Everything goes quiet, goes dark. Now you start seeing black smoke coming out of the port funnel. So she is belching black smoke at this time. You can see it coming out right here. So this indicates, obviously, an engine problem. Now, what are they doing at this point? They may be backing down at this moment, trying to stop their forward progress. Now, the problem with backing down on a ship is that it is single prop. And what's going to happen is when you try to back down, the ship is going to start careening. It's going to start kind of pitching around. And what happens here, based on the track line that I saw in marine traffic, is the ship starts to go across the channel. She was basically in the middle of the channel, coming out right down in the middle, and now she's careening toward the right side. Notice more black smoke coming out. I saw a helicopter image this morning that showed that the port side anchor had been dropped. So what you would want to do is try to arrest the forward movement of the vessel. The problem with this whole scenario is this. If you start backing down on the ship, it's going to start twisting. If you just kept the ship going, stopped the propeller, and used the rudder, you would have some control. But now the vessel is starting to veer out of the channel. And this is what we see. The ship starts crossing from the north side of the channel to the south side of the channel, and then eventually out of the channel entirely. And at the speed she's going, she is not able to stop her forward progress. So, see the black smoke still coming out of the ship at this time. The ship now is coming out of the channel entirely. She would not have tugs on her. She would have had tugs to take her off the berth at Dundalk, but not once she was underway and had propulsion. This ship, Singapore flag, Singapore registered company. Dolly is one of these ships that basically is leased by the larger operating companies, so we're not exactly sure whose route she was on, what company she was servicing. She was out of Baltimore, heading to Colombo, so she was heading down to the Panama Canal, and she was going to be heading across the Pacific. At this point, she is heading right for the pylons, and understand, once you take out a pylon on a bridge, that's it. These bridges are designed to rest on top of that pylon. She's going to sideswipe it. This is going to be the worst kind of bridge disaster in the United States since Tampa back in the 1980s. And even if you drop the anchors, which we know she drops the port anchor, looking at the image from helicopters, the port anchor was not just dropped, but it was angling aft, meaning that it dragged. But at any sort of speed, it's not going to stop the vessel. She would have dropped, I'm not sure if she dropped the starboard anchor. That's her hitting right there. You can see the big splash as she hits the piling right there. There are barriers around the pilings, but not enough. And that will cause the collapse and just the horror of this event taking place here. And that is the tragedy right there. So, that is my quick assessment based on the video right there. Obviously, a loss of power resulted in the ship losing control and hitting the bridge. Not a lot you can do. The ship would have been under the command of the ship's master. There would have been a Chesapeake Bay pilot on board to advise the master. Remember the issue we had with Everforward when it came out of Baltimore, and it was further down the track than this. We had the pilot being distracted. I don't think that's a case here at all. This obviously appears to be a mechanical issue. The fact that the ship lost power at least once, if not twice, it was kind of hard to see, but it may have lost power twice there, would have been the cause for the ship to careen into the bridge. I will have a further update here later on as more comes to bear.
Yeah, man. So that's what it is, my brothers. The scripture saying 2 Timothy 3:13, but evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived. See? So it could be deception. I mean, that's got to be something crazy, because that's just like I said, it's too catastrophic, Salakia, to be an error on somebody's part. You know what I'm saying? So like a whole ship like that, ships don't just go dark like that and a power outage all over the ship. Must have been a planted EMP attack. Somebody knew where that ship was. Somebody knew that was a major key city, or literally a key area, which is called the Key Bridge. Keys, locks. It's a symbolic word as well, key. And they use symbolism like that with all types of things. These evil ass devils. You see what I'm saying? 2 Timothy 3:13 again. But evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived. Now let's go to the word for seducers.
Strong's G 1114. Guys.
Right. Strong's definition, properly a wizard, as muttering spells. Okay. Or an imposter, a wizard, an imposter, somebody, doing spells, man. And that's Esau, man. Esau is a goddamn seducer. He's wicked. He creates all of these devices, even the internet, the art of seduction with these women creating OnlyFans, and these women on a shorts thing, they said real quick, she said, would you date a woman who does OnlyFans? And he said, yeah, man, because, she gets to pay for everything and everything's essentially free. Yeah, but bear in mind, you know what I'm saying? Nothing like that. Nothing comes good like that. Remember, the scripture says, consider the ways of the ant, thou sluggard. You don't appreciate money. You don't understand money if it comes to you free. Not only that, but you know that the latter end of your life is going to be some type of hardship and pain to balance out what your life was. So these people lack understanding and knowledge, and that's from a seducer. That's Esau Edom, And it wouldn't be the first time that this guy created a false flag attack on this nation or on the world. You know what I mean? The Gulf of Tonkin incident, 9/11, different incidents like that, herpes and smallpox, the Tuskegee Airmen and all of that stuff. The evils of this devil is unbelievable. Chemtrails, which they banned them in a state, I think it was Ohio, or one of them. They banned it in Tennessee or something like that. They banned the use of chemtrails, but because we know that's evil. Spraying chemicals in the air for people to breathe is absolutely insufferable, man, intolerable. See what I'm saying? So you got to be careful, my brothers. This is why. This is just like in old times, 2 Timothy 3 and verse number 11. It says, persecutions, afflictions, which came unto me at Antioch, at Iconium, at Lystra, what persecutions I endured, but out of them all the Lord delivered me. And let that be a lesson unto you, brothers, and also encouragement that no matter what we face, no matter what does happen, the Lord's going to deliver us from them all persecution, anything. Okay? Skipping down to verse 14, because I already read 13 twice. It says, but continue thou in the things which thou hast learned and hast been assured of, knowing of whom thou hast learned them. Right. Exactly, my brother. So that's really important to understand that faith in Yahushua HaMashiach is very important. The Holy Scriptures is what we need to ultimately rely on and respect unto salvation through faith, man, which is in Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, that it says right here, verse 15. And that from a child thou hast known the holy scriptures, which are able to make thee wise unto salvation through faith, which is in Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. All right, brother. So just a quick update. This is a major catastrophic update, breaking news. I'm sure you already probably heard it or whatever, but I just want to put my 2 cents in and speak on the situation as we should. Shalom.